Welcome to part 8 of the Beyond Two Souls commentary. This is the first night chapter, and as the name implies, it's Jodie's first night at the Department of Paranormal Activity. In this part, feelings.
It won't be for long. Just long enough for them to find out what's going on.
Please don't leave me here.
Just for a couple of days. You'll see, time will go by fast.
Susan, we need to go. There's no reason to drag this out.
Be brave, darling. You're strong.
This must be a huge thing that's playing on Jodie's mind here, because she's only 8 years old at this moment in time, and to be kind of thrown in this completely new environment with the only people she can see here are people in white coats and that, it's got to be a lot of stress on us, especially when you consider the things that's happening to her anyway with the entities.
I know it's hard, leaving your home and your family. But here we have a better chance of understanding what's happening. We can find a way to protect you.
Nobody can protect me.
Your belongings are in that bag over there. Cole and I are right next door. If you need anything or if anything's wrong, just call and we'll come right away. Okay? Good night, Jodie.
This music is very haunting,
Find somewhere to change.
and that's really fitting for what's happening here. New environment. Jodie's got a lot of things that are affecting her with the entities and Aiden and all that. It's just, it comes together as a complete piece.
Bunnygraph, where's my rabbit?
And we've got to go fetch the comfort toy, of course. I think the sound of silence is really effective in this scene. That's a huge toy rabbit. Let's be honest here. This little kind of area they've gave Jodie to be her home, it is quite a nice looking area, I think. It looks very homely, given the situation of being in a research centre and that.
I'm gonna turn off the light now. Good night, Jodie.
Wait,
What I'm noticing here is that
can you leave the light on?
both Nathan and Cole must be working like very long hours if they're supervising Jodie overnight.
Good.
And Nathan's work-life balance being skewed is something that's kind of brought up in some of the other chapters, but we'll get to that more when we get to it.
And nothing is gonna happen.
As soon as you say nothing's going to happen, you've basically doomed something to happen. Yeah, trying desperately hard to get to sleep. I know that feeling way too well.
I can't sleep, Aiden. I think I need a story.
This is pretty cool. No, I missed the story. I do like that despite being next door with the surveillance cameras and that, Cole and Nathan haven't really clocked onto the fact there's a flying torch and flickering lights and stuff. And there we go. There's the entities. Why does Aiden need to get help? They have cameras, they have microphones and recordings. Oh, Cole's asleep on the desk, that's why.
Oh, what the? Nathan, something's happening. Something's happening. Something's happening!
It seems to be like a recurring thing with doors getting locked shut when the entities are attacking. I say recurring thing, this is chronologically speaking the third chapter in the story. There's actually a trophy you get if you fight off all the entities that are attacking before Cole and Nathan manage to get in, and that's called Entity's Apprentice. So just keep on fighting them, doing the thing with the twin sticks whenever they attack Jodie here, and you get that, no problem. I think it's the flickering lights that really adds to the intensity of this scene.
My God, Jodie! Get a doctor! Hurry!
It's okay. It'll be alright now. Aiden isn't scared of them anymore.
And now for a change of pace, we're going on to the Like Other Girls chapter. And in this one, we have to be a stereotypical bratty teenager.
And I won't be late, I promise, okay?
You're wasting your breath, Jodie.
It's just not fair. How come everyone can go and I can't? I do everything you ask of me all week, and I never get to have any fun.
For the 100th time, you're not like everyone else, and there are rules.
Well, I didn't ask to be different. I just want to go out and have friends and be like other girls my age.
You'll never be like them. You need to get used to that.
This is such an overkill of the rebellious teenager stereotype, like to the point where it feels really forced. If you're gonna have a character like this, or a character acting this way, there's got to be kind of a section where you put a cap on it, because I get the whole fit in the conventions, narrative conventions and whatnot, but no, it just comes off as a little bit artificial in this chapter. But at this moment in time, Jodie's 16 years old, and the general gist of this chapter is she wants to go out and have friends and like do all the stuff that most teenage girls would do that she hasn't been allowed to, given that she's under the DPA's care. Now, I will say that's one fucking amazing looking guitar. Although the problem you have with V-shaped guitars is they're a bitch enough to try to play sitting down. It's like, at least with the explorer type shape, you get that little indent while still having these spikes coming off, whereas a V, like, no, you got to stand up to play that. And if you compare that to the kind of guitar music she was playing in the Homeless chapter, you can see there's a bit of a musical difference developing over time. Now, if this isn't an overplayed strop, I don't know what is. You see the stuff on the wall, the poster, the graffiti in the top corner and that. It's all little things that show how Jodie's matured into this rebellious character over time. Because you compare this to the chapters where she's a young child in this same little apartment area. It's kind of representative of her as a character outgrowing the scenario that she was in, because when she first moved here, obviously she was a little bit uncomfortable because it was a new environment and she didn't know any of the researchers or anything, whereas now she's clearly wanting to go beyond the limitations, rather than when she was young she sort of settled in quite quickly. No, we've got to continue stropping for quite a while yet, because that's always fun.
I want to go out! Do you hear me, Cole? Fucking let me out!
You know, something tells me she wants to go out. Not quite sure what that is.
Hey, no swearing, okay, Jodie?
Yeah, don't fucking swear, that's terrible. And now we've got to get Aiden to do a little bit more destruction. See, I wonder if this is like supposed to be representative of Aiden having a similar sort of wanting to rebel sort of thing, because there have been times when we've been shown that Aiden is a separate character who acts independently from Jodie. Although he has her interests in mind, he seems to act on his own accord. Whereas here, he's just throwing a strop at the same time that Jodie's throwing a strop.
Goddamn room. If that's not gonna work, we have to figure out what will.
Yeah. Yeah, she's calmed down. She smashed up the apartment first, but she's calmed down. Okay. Sure. I'll see you tomorrow.
Let's just stand here tapping our feet for a while. Hopefully that will mean something will happen. I'm not actually sure what I'm doing at this moment in time. I think you've just got to waste a lot of time before you can move on to the next plot event. So I'm just sort of walking around the apartment. But the way some of them posters are not properly lined up on a wall, that really screws with my mind. But now we've got to possess Cole to do our dirty work for us.
I'm really sorry, Cole. I hate myself for doing this, but you understand, right? I need to go out tonight.
So you absolutely need to go out tonight. That's exactly how it works. Now this is something that I really can't relate to at all, because being the more antisocial type of person, I just can't really relate with the idea of needing to go out somewhere. Like, no, just entertain yourself at home or something, it's not worth this amount of hassle.
Locked.
Now, during this entire scene of trying to sneak out, it is entirely possible to get caught, and that ends the chapter there. So you don't get to see the second half of the chapter if you get caught here. It just moves along. But I'm gonna manage to sneak out successfully in this run, and we'll get to see Jodie's actual night out, how it happens. And this is one of the few sections in this game where you can actually affect the outcome of something in another chapter. Because if you successfully sneak out here, the ending to a later chapter in the game called The Dinner will actually play out differently. And it's kind of a missed opportunity that there aren't more things like that. And maybe this isn't the best one for that to happen in, but we'll get to that when we get to that chapter in particular.
I'm feeling I'm feeling sick. I'm feeling sick, so we were just gonna go and get some fresh air.
You okay? You want us to call the infirmary?
No. There's no need. I'm Cole's looking.
This is such a convincing lie.
Right, Cole?
He lied.
Yeah. So
What's up, Cole? Cat got your tongue? Hmm?
he lost his voice. I think it's like a virus or something.
Yeah, we're not buying this for a second, Jodie. Come on now.
I've gotten out of him all day long. So
Well, it's not contagious, buddy. You should be home in bed if you ask me. Safer for all of us.
Now, surely he would have noticed that there's something up with the eyes right now.
Go on now.
at least we don't have to look for Cole's car.
Now, given she's probably never driven before, and so Aiden won't know how to drive before, this really doesn't seem like the safest idea at all.
Now get in the car and start
With Jodie's general look in this chapter, she's going for the kind of punk girl sort of look, you know, like with the dyed hair pushed down and that short. And judging by as a rough estimate for timescale, this would have been set around 2006. And I'm not sure how big that kind of thing was in at that moment in time. Because it's kind of like the Joan Jett sort of look going on, really, isn't it, more than anything?
Let's go, Aiden. Try not to attract attention, okay?
Go, my man. Right off. Jodie.
How to not look suspicious.
Call Central Security now!
You'll forgive me, right?
It is like an interesting character trait that Jodie's constantly unsure of whether what she's doing is right, trying to justify it to herself that she needs this night out. Because she's obviously very clearly attached to Cole, like she likes him as a person. So that's kind of what's playing at the guilt here for her. Now, there are certain kinds of bars that you can see just from outside a little bit shady, and this gives that kind of vibe.
They're not here yet.
Now, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but the two guys playing pool there, they look sort of like Matt and Stephen from the party chapter.
How old are you, miss?
I'm 21. I just want a lemonade.
But clearly Jodie's friends aren't here, and it's never actually explained to us why they don't show up throughout this entire chapter. And it kind of makes you question what's going on about that, because we saw in the party chapter last time she was at a kind of social gathering with other youngsters that she's quite vulnerable because she hasn't had much social integration. And it makes you wonder if, because of her situation, if she's been like a victim of a prank or something, they've tried to lead her out here, or like by people she thinks are her friends or not, or whether it's just like an oversight in the story. Can't really be sure.
Ladies first.
Gotta say, the general vibe here, it's a little bit unsettling, and that's quite effective in the scene, but it's something that I'm not too comfortable about watching, if that makes sense.
What you doing in here all on your own?
About to meet some friends. They'll be here any minute.
It is very obvious that this isn't the kind of bar that young people are going to meet in too often. So that's what adds the extra level of unsettlingness to it.
Trying to hustle me, girl? Truth be told, you look kind of young to be in here. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Whoa, I'm impressed. Your parents know you're in here?
Are we playing pool or 20 questions?
Looked like she was going to hit him with that then.
Hey! Back off!
Come on, baby, you know you want to.
Smack the fucker. This is where we get the whole power balance come into play, and I don't know what to really think of it. Like, it's obviously that's the point of this section, to kind of show Jodie put in a victimized position, but not really sure what to make of this. But in this chapter, there's a trophy you can get by getting to this point called Together Forever. and I'll try not to go into the song from the Pokemon anime. But what you have to do is you have to accept playing pool with this other guy and put yourself in the position where you get assaulted and let Aiden essentially kill everyone here. So that's what you have to do to get that trophy.
Fuck it all! I don't want to die! Nobody's dying! We're getting the fuck out of here! Jesus! What the fuck are you doing, Sam?
Yeah, Aiden's locked the door again. This keeps happening.
It's stuck! Get out of the way, I'll break it down!
It's time to kill some people who are absolute tossers. So yeah, really not the most pleasant chapter at all.
Jodie! My God. Are you alright? Good God, what happened?
I just wanted to go out.
It shows a lot about the bond between Nathan and Jodie, that he's instantly worried about her and pays no mind to the fact that there's these 3 people dead on the floor. Like, he understands her to that level of connection. But now we're on to the Alone chapter. And this chapter is a very short one. And so what I'll do is I'll go through the trophies you can unlock here, because despite being a 3-minute long chapter, there's 3 different outcomes you can get that could potentially get you one of 3 different trophies.
Your mom and I...
The first one is just called Sorry, in which you do nothing.
Take you with us, but we
There is a trophy for doing nothing, and that kind of says a lot about the kind of game this is, but okay. There's one called Not My Father, and what you've got to do is strangle Philip here as you're doing all this chat stuff. Like, once Susan comes in and they start talking amongst themselves and that's when he gets the red aura around him and you got to strangle him then. And what they'll do is that will cut off the chapter there and it will get you the trophy. And the other one is Uncontrollable, which is basically just choke Philip as he's leaving the room. There's really not much to this chapter other than that they're like saying their goodbyes because they're being reassigned or something. It's one of them chapters that's just sort of there.
I'm sure it'll work out for
gotta go. Susan.
Just give me a minute, Philip.
Okay, we get it, you're sad. Move on, please, guys. We've got more interesting chapters to get to.
That's enough. Come on.
Let's get him. Because Aiden obviously doesn't like Philip at all. And after all the snowball antics in the first canonical chapter, you can kind of see why. But I suppose I shouldn't joke, Philip nearly died.
You hear me? A monster!
My God. Jodie.
Jodie, I know how you feel, but you made the right decision.
Well, see you next time for the Navajo chapter.